Welcome to Matt Bajerski YouTube channel. Tonight, because it is night here, we're going to talk about how to protect ourselves, how to cleanse ourselves, and how to grow stronger from within. This is something that you're never told at school, you're never told at work, you're never told in your lifetime. And very few people actually talk about it in general. And I think it's one of the most important subjects in this world, especially for children. Once you understand how to protect yourself, once you understand energy, you understand life in itself, and you can make conscious decisions then based on truth that's given to you. It's subjective, of course, but as a healer, I can definitely say this. From 0 to 38 and from 38 to 54, I know the difference. So we'll start by protection. So my tips and points are what I've learned as a full-time healer from over 2 decades now. I'm the founder of Pure Energy Healing Academy, I'm proud to say, and that is a kind of healing technique which was derived from my own experience, learning techniques, and from my clients who became my amazing teachers. So throughout all of these years learning how to protect, how to heal, how to cleanse, I'm going to give you some of the tips that I've learned that have really impacted my life. And I'm going to save you a lot of time and effort than actually you should learn. You should go out there and make mistakes. That's one thing we shouldn't say. But what I am sharing with you is things that helped me. So it's good when you hear things like that, you can go and try it. It may not help you, but it may do. So the first thing I would suggest, if you're struggling in life with lack of energy, if you're not feeling too good, if you struggle in supermarkets, if you struggle in like school, if you're at school and you know everything is a stress energy, you don't feel right, you feel weak, and sometimes people play on you like bullies and bullies at school, bullies at work, bullies in corporations, bullies everywhere. And you're trying your best to find ways to get out of that situation, but you can't. One of the hardest things in the world is how do we get out of a situation that we can't, because this is my job and there's bullies in the job. I'm at school, I can't get out of this situation. So these are the things that we're going to talk about today. So first thing, if we look at why energy is bullied, and normally it's good energy. So if you've got good energy, then you're going to find the bullies with bad energy and negative energy or weak energy is going to attack you. So there's a misconception that good energy attracts good energy, because that's it. They think that's it. Well, that's not actually the case. Sometimes good energy attracts bad energy, and bad energy attracts good energy. So it's all and more. So you can be feeling really, really bad, and somebody feeling great comes over and tries to help you. So you're in bad energy, good energy comes to help. If you're feeling on top of the world and you see somebody bad, then you're good energy, and so vice versa. So bad energy to bad energy do come together quite a lot. And I've seen that normally in packs. So they're like, no, I'm not going to disrespect wolves, but what happens is anger and bad energy is contagious. It spreads like a disease. That's why you find that if there's something beautiful in, let's say, a club or a football match, there's always bad entities that stick together and cause riots and fight. So that's what happens. Bad can connect to bad, and it can grow and grow, and it's so powerful that somebody can be angry at somebody else, and then somebody else will come over and be angry as well, and then everybody gets angry with that one person. And that's a phenomena that is really, really awful, and it's happened to me a few times. So like attracts like. Good energy does attract good energy. But I have another philosophy to that. When you are vibrating at good energy, you don't need anybody's energy. So I kind of like look at people who are on The Secret and say, like attracts like. And I think, well, does it? Because when you are vibrating at a high frequency, you're protected, you feel great, you're on your path. a lot of the times you want to be on that path alone. You don't want to be attracted to anybody else. You just want to get on with your life. And I've seen that a lot. Sometimes to a negative and sometimes to a positive outcome, because some people then become hermits. And so there's so many variations of energy and how you work with it and how you use it. Predominantly, what is energy? How does it work? Well, your life force is energy. What is your life force? Well, if your body dies, there is no more life force. So it's kind of clear to see that the life force is attached to your spirit, soul, consciousness. It's very difficult to put the word to it, but your higher self, that is who you are. So imagine yourself as a being that looks like a ghost, let's say, and it moves and it's got an energy frequency around it. That's you. I'm not a ghost. Yes, you are. You're that energetic frequency. But when people say that I saw a ghost and it was an apparition of my mum or something like that, a lot of the times they can come to you in certain images, certain forms, so you feel more comfortable and happier. And that does happen. Some people say that angels came, a light came, but not so much that the monsters come and demons and scary ghosts with big teeth. That's just Hollywood stuff. And we do tend to exaggerate a lot as well when people are in these haunted houses. There's a lot of exaggeration about, scary things, because it's just part of the human condition that they like to show off or sound bigger and better than what they are. Most conversations in the world are all exaggerated in truth, especially on the black screen. So let's get back to the energy and what we can do with energy now that we know it's who we are. Well, when you're feeling balanced, when you're eating correctly, when you are in a good location at home and your mum and dad's happy, or you're happy with your partner, everybody's happy. Normally the energy of you is not disturbed, it's not taken, it's not abused, it's not sucked out of you from other people. So then, therefore, your life force becomes nice and strong. So that obviously takes you to the understanding that when your life force is weak, it's probably because you're going through some traumatic issues with either your family, your friends, or a circumstance at work, or a personal issue you've got, or your journey in general. So when you're strong, when you're feeling great, when you're eating healthy, fruit and vegetables, all organic, when you're drinking plenty of water, which is natural water from a spring, when you are eating all the good things, putting in your mouth and keeping away from all the bad things like refined sugars and all the junk that comes with alcohol is bad, smoking is bad, all them bad things, tons of chocolate, all of that is not good for your body. And then you've got to understand as well, what's not good for your body is all the things that they're giving you at this moment. And it's been like this for a long time. So certain things that they give you are prescription drugs, not so good at all. Then they'll get you another way, which is all of the sunscreens, sun blockers. That too is going to cause issue to your body and cause cancerous cells and block your pores, and then all of that toxins enter into your skin and do eventually turn into a cancer. This is all proven, just like the Johnson & Johnson baby powder scandal, where they knew they were using toxins in the baby powder and they got fined, but it didn't matter because they make trillions anyway, so they don't mind the fines. As long as the fines aren't as much as the profits, then they're okay. They don't care. And then they'll get you with other things like injections and things like that, and RNA, DNA, changing the whole of your body. And if they can't get you that way, they'll get you another way, and you probably don't even know this, but or maybe you might know this. You go to your local health clinic and you say, I'd like a facial, and they say, oh yeah, we've got these new creams. Most of these new creams now are all made by the same people who make the vaccines and all those corporations. So you're actually rubbing in injections into your face filled with all of the RNA, DNA molecules. So they're going to get you one way or another. So this is really important. You need to understand what you're putting on yourself. You need to understand what you're putting in your mouth. So that's one aspect. Once you've got that sorted and you become strong and your willpower is good, because let's face it, most people fall. Most people just, oh, I'll just have one, or I'll just do that. Oh, okay, I'm sure it doesn't matter. That's where your willpower comes into this, and this is why it's vital that you understand, if you want a strong energy and you want to feel protected and you want a great life, you're going to have to start investing in yourself and believing in yourself and having the courage to say, no, I'm not going to do that. And do your research when it comes to what you put inside your mouth and what you don't. These are vital things. This is the 7 principles of your life, and this is one of them. Once you've got that right, then you need to understand what your spiritual aspect is, who you are in a spiritual manner. What is your spirit? What do you want? Where do you want to go? What is your life purpose? What do you feel your dreams and goals are, and what do you want to achieve? And a lot of the times I see people who only see dreams as dreams instead of reality. And I see a lot of people doing things that they don't want to do, not via choice, or so they tell me, but it's because it's the need, because they have to obviously pay for the property that they live in and pay for the food that they have to feed their children. So that's always an issue. So your working life is vitally important as well that you get right. So for me, I always make these suggestions to my clients over the years. Look, if you don't like what you do, you can make arrangements in yourself to tell yourself that you would like to find something that makes you happy and that you enjoy doing. So that moment on, when you find something that you like to do and you get paid for it, then you never work another day for the rest of your life. And then your life becomes amazing. You become stronger and your energy becomes bigger. So that is something that you could look at doing in the future. So you don't need to run away from your job because I don't want you to hurt yourself, and I don't want you to say, oh, I ran away because you told me to. No, don't run away from anything. Be clever, box clever, look for a better position somewhere else. If some of my staff said to me, oh, I'm not going to be here anymore, I found another job, I'd say, good for you. Are you getting more money? Will you be happier there? Good for you. Go for it. I have no issues at all as somebody who runs a business. I say, good luck to you. Whatever feels right for you, you should do. And what I do as a boss is try and make my staff feel happy. I don't breathe down their neck. I don't shout or scream or ask for this to be done now. I allow them to be their own boss in there. And when there is an issue, we resolve it. We talk about it, But this is important. Your working environment is deadly important for a long life. If you want a long life and a happy life and a healthy life, then your work is very important. Not just the environment of work, but what you want to do. Because a lot of the times, like my dad, he wanted to be an electrician because he loved playing around with electronics, right? But because he went for a job and they turned him down, he was so gutted. This is what I was told by my sister. He was so gutted, so upset, and he was so proud that he wouldn't try again for another job. So he just went for the easiest job he could get. So he became a finisher. Not that there's anything wrong with being a finisher in a mill, but it wasn't what he wanted to do. So then he would work all day, 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night. He'd come home and he'd be angry and he'd be frustrated. And he took it out on all the family, and he was abusive. Why? Partly because of his job. Okay, so if he was happy in his job, he might not have been as angry when he came home. These are the things that I realized and I see from my clients. I see in my clients, or not now because I don't have any, but when I did, I knew they weren't happy in either their working life, their life at home, or their relationship, or something. So you can see it in people, you can feel it in people. So number 2 of the 7 principles is definitely the environment and how you feel in your life. And from day to day, what are you doing? If you're spending, let's say you wake up in the morning at 7 o'clock and you do something that you don't like to do, right, all the way through that day, and then the rest of the few hours you've got is kind of like spare time. You're spending most of your life either in bed, sleeping, and working and doing something that you hate doing or you don't like doing. That's not a life. That's not we haven't come here for that. We haven't come here to do that. So if we can, we try and think wisely and feel and speak to the universe by way of my dreams, because as soon as you ask that dream, as soon as you ask that you would like to do something, if you really mean it, if you really mean that you don't want to be somewhere because you don't like it, then the universe listens. Now, if you're in depression and you're getting upset and you say, I hate my job, I can't stand it, that doesn't fix anything. And the universe doesn't hear that. It hears that I want a better job. So you look for a better job. And at the meantime, you keep your old job and you don't tell anybody. You just keep going and keep looking for something that you like to do. Or stick with your old job, right? And anytime you've got spare time, start your own business or start something that you like to do and progress that. And if that slowly grows and grows, then you can say goodbye to your boss and say, look, you're a horrible boss. I hated you and I'm leaving. And your boss will say, oh, well, you'll never get a job. And you'll say, well, actually, I don't need to because I'm self-employed now and I'm doing really well and I don't need to be in this position. So it's not about getting back at your boss or, they're going to be like that to the next person. So it's nothing personal. Nothing's personal. We only think it is, but it isn't, because whoever's having a go at you is going to have a go at everybody else. It's not just you. Trust me, I know that as a fact. I've been bullied all my life. So that is really important in my world. And you might be watching this now saying, well, why aren't you telling me about energy? Why aren't you telling me about protecting myself? This is about protecting yourself. These are the beautiful methods that I use to help my clients become strong, become powerful, and start to grow their energy. So then they ended up being cleansed and cleared and protected. So it's vital for your energy. The other thing is, what do you believe in a spiritual sense? What do you believe in? Do you believe in no God? Do you believe in a God? Do you believe in darkness? Do you believe in light? What do you believe or don't believe? For me, it's important that there is something. We don't know exactly what it is. Nobody does. They're not going to show up in front of you and say, look, this is how it is, because the universe, this world, this little ball that we live on, or flat earth, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But they're never going to show themselves to us, because the journey that we're on is to find our faith, is to find our belief. And that's really important we understand that. So it won't just present itself to you if you just sit down and do nothing. Sometimes you might see something and feel something, but it's the journey of life that takes you to that belief system. And when you are confronted by amazing miracles and things that just happen out of sheer coincidence, which I don't believe in coincidence, I believe that synchronicities are another world's helping hand, whether you call it the spirit world, doesn't matter. You might call it whatever you want, but it's a helping hand. So them helping hands are always there, but they only work when you really get up and do something. So it's a combination or a partnership of the two. And I've noticed, and I ask my mum all the time, and Tata, I always ask them, I'd like to try this. Can you help? I'd like to give this a go. Can you help? And they work towards doing it. And it's incredible. Whether you do it or not, it doesn't matter, but at least you know that they're there and they're helping you. A lot of the times people just spiral and they can't get out of it, because these little things that I share with you, they have no faith or belief, and they just wind themselves down to nothing, and everything just becomes nil and void. They have no energy, no joy, no happiness, and that's because they've lost all their faith. They've lost belief in everything. They don't like people. They don't like the world. They don't like what's going on. They don't want to be here. It's not worth living. Everything's going wrong. My life's a mess. I've got no money. I've got no partners. I've got no friends. And that is a very normal state. And people say to me, you're still smiling at me. Like, look at me, I'm a mess. And I'll say, well, you're not a mess. What I see in front of me is a lion. Is a very strong soul. Everybody else who just gets on with their life never really understands what true suffering is and what pain and the experience of what we've come here to learn, but you are. So I know how strong you are, and you will get up and you will understand all what you've been through, because you will get back up and you will overcome. You will conquer all of this. Nobody can talk to you about conquering pain and suffering and depression and sadness and sickness and disease and alcoholism and any kind of addiction, drug addiction. Nobody can talk to you about that unless you've been through it. Then you can understand, because they've stood up and said, I've been through that, I got through it, blah, blah, blah. And then they start giving you their story. So I always smile and say, you're going to be the best teacher and the best guide one day to help people. So I've been through terrible things. Why? Because I'm now able to share my truth. Truth is only really understood when somebody speaks to you about their true story, their personal story. I was talking about this the other day. Experience, people feel it. All right, I feel that. So when I talk to you about my clients, I'm only telling you what my clients said. And I witnessed it, but I didn't feel it. I wasn't in there and I wasn't feeling everything. So when I speak like that, it's secondhand. But when I tell you about some of my stories, you feel it. And there's no lying there. There's no exaggeration. You can feel it. You know, it's so easy to witness on this black screen now how many people are just lying through their teeth about anything to try and bring you into their funnel because they want you for a certain reason. When somebody talks genuinely about what they talk about, and they do it not for an outcome of grabbing you and making you buy something or whatever, then you can feel it. You can feel it. So what's more important? I know I'm going off on one, but for me, it's more important to share my truth and then afterwards say, look, I sell crystals, I sell oils, I sell incense. Why? Because I use them all my working life doing this work, and it works. So, and that's another thing. When you know something's really, really good and it works, you can sell it easily, because when you're selling it to somebody, you're selling your story, you're selling what you've been through, the truth. So these are the things that are so important as well. Speak your truth, and whatever experience you've had, if it's a positive outcome, share that with the world so then they can feel better if they're going through pain and suffering. So we'll move on to like protecting your energy. One of the things that you can do to protect your energy is, this is really important. To protect your energy is to know how to say no. If you learn how to say no, you're saying yes to yourself. And a lot of people struggle with that. So then they end up sick, poorly, ill, skint, because they can't say no. Hey, can I borrow some money? Hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you come and do this for me? Yes, 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 yes. Now, it's nice to say yes. It's wonderful. But you have to have a line where you draw. So this is another thing that I really, really recommend. I've spoke about this many occasions, but there is an invisible line in front of you, and that line should never be crossed. And that line is about helping somebody, which is on your side. As soon as you step over that line, you start living somebody else's life. And there's a fine line between those two things. So an example, I used to help this lady. I helped her every day for 2 years. And then I realized every day I swept a doorstep. This is only a metaphor. I swept a doorstep every day. And for 2 years, on the second year, I thought, why is it that all the time I'm sweeping a doorstep and she's never once swept a doorstep? So I then got angry and think, hang on a minute, look, I swept that doorstep so you can see how clean it is because you forgot to clean it many times. So now I've cleaned it. I want you to see how clean it is and to keep up to cleaning it, because that's why I did it. So, you're not overburdened with all the stuff. Look, I've cleaned your doorstep. I hope you like it. So next time you'll clean it. That's why I did it. That's why you help people. So then they can help themselves and make things easier for them to carry on in their life. But the problem with that is that if you step over that line, what happens then is the person automatically puts their feet up and just sits back and watches you. Watch you do what you're doing for them, and they like it, and it's beautiful. Thanks very much for cleaning my doorstep. See you tomorrow. That's not why I'm cleaning your doorstep. I did it to help you, but I've noticed that you're not doing anything. Well, yeah, because you're doing it, and why should I do it if you're doing it? This is great. Well, that's exactly why I'm not doing it no more. That's not right. You're now taking advantage of me. Therefore, I'm sorry, I won't be doing it again. You what? What do you mean you're not going to do it again? Yeah, you are. You've been doing it all this time. You're going to keep doing it. And if you don't, I'm going to be angry with you. So that's stepping over the line. That's stepping over from helping somebody to live in their life. As soon as you take that away from them, they're going to be bitter and they're going to be angry and they're going to go crazy because now they have to do it for themselves. So again, saying no is a good thing. Saying yes, but in a way that you do step over that line, is vital for your energy and for it to go. Because if not, you can end up with years of this contaminated, toxic poisoning from what you created. Don't blame them. It's your fault. You allowed it. You were the doormat. You let them walk all over you. So always remember, I had to learn the hard way, and I don't want you to learn the hard way. But sometimes it's good to say, I'm sorry, I can't. Well, don't even say sorry. I even do that now. I can't do that. You shouldn't have to explain why. You just say, I can't do that. And move on and smile. And don't be upset with yourself. Don't get angry with yourself. Because we've been programmed to get angry with ourselves and upset with ourselves and think that we're selfish and nasty and we're not kind because we say no. That's not true. If I'm saying no, I'm respecting myself because I need to do something for me. I've got things to do. Maybe you could just say, I've got things to do. I've got things to do this week and next week and the week after, right? Because you know if you do it, you're going to end up in that situation again. Don't lend money and don't borrow money. That's one of the most powerful things my father taught me. So I'm blessed about that. I don't borrow money. I don't lend money. And that way you don't feel, there's nothing worse. I mean, it's a bit like the government. When you start doing well in business, they're going to come after you and they're going to get as much as they can off you because they're parasites. And that's what they do. Government is a parasite. It's a parasitical entity. So you have to get used to that. And what they do is they do things in the most terrible ways. So you have to be clever when it comes to opening your own business and creating a business that you've always got enough money to pay the parasites. I call them the wolves that come to your door. They're always there trying to get as much as they can off you. So it's good to have a good accountant. I know I'm going off on one, but these things are important to know. Always make sure that you pay, you have money for your tax because I know so many truthers. I'm not paying any tax. Yes, you are, mate, because if not, you're going to prison. And one day, hopefully, the system will crash and we can start again in a unique way. But until then, just box clever and be cautious, okay? Because the government is not kind. It's evil and it does the worst things which they claim to be legal under the name of legal. But it's so immoral and so dark. That's why I have no time and effort for the system, which is pure satanic in all nature. So we move on to things that are important for our body. So sage is very important. If you go to my first video, which is the most popular video, just click on popular videos of Mark Bajerski. Sorry, it's because I'm on my detox tea, so it's coming up. So it's been like this for 3-4 weeks now, and I can't imagine how much stuff I've got in me, which is coming up all the time. Sorry. Yeah. Well, if you go to my channel and click favorites, watch the first video on lemons, which is brilliant because that's good to have. All over, lemons everywhere. That gives you an indication if you've got negative energy in the home, and if not, if you have and it goes off, the lemon goes off, then you clear the room with sage. That's the next video. So watch the lemon video, and then the next video is about how to sage a house properly. Now, this is one of the most important things I learned at 38 years old. Most people live in houses which are toxic, abusive, angry, fear energy, And all of that energy attaches to you. It attaches to your energy. So then you feel bad. And when you sleep, you can have nightmares. You feel bad because of whatever it may be. You just feel bad in general. You're exhausted. So once you sage yourself, you normally find that you sage your room as well, and you cleanse the house. You sage all the house, which is so important. Sage it all, and then do it properly. Like I said, watch the full video. Once that's done, then you've got a clear energy in the house. So if you've got negative energy in your house and you come home and you're happy, like after a healing session, when I give a healing session, people have come back 2 weeks later and feel the same. So then I realized I need to go to their house and sage it. So I used to go to their house, sage the house, and then they'd come with me. We'd go back, give the healing session, then they go back to the house, and then they won't come back for months. Why is that? Because you give them a healing session here, they've gone home, that same energy that they felt in them is still in the house and still in everything in the house. So makes sense, right? Vital. Sage yourself, sage the house. That's the first thing. I think keeping the house at a good energy by using Palo Santo sticks is fantastic. So my Palo Santo sticks are great. The problem with Palo Santo sticks is they don't burn very well. So it's really difficult, and it's the smoke that's important. So I've got some sticks down there. They're nice, but they're lovely, but they just don't burn. They take forever to burn. So I created some sticks, these, and they burn gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. You just need to set them on a light, and then you just leave them, and they burn through. So those are the sticks that I would use on myself. So the Palo Santo sticks, 3 minutes around yourself is perfect. And then I created these sticks as well. There's these are frankincense, but I also have sage sticks and Palo Santo sticks. Now, one of them sticks a week in the house is plenty. So you just light one stick and leave it in the house, and it will keep the energy good in the house. If the energy feels really heavy because you've had a fight, an argument, you're screaming, you're upset, you're stressed, you're filled with negativity because of work and all that kind of stuff, burn sage, just burn sage, and then go to the sticks. So that's what I use. These are actually incredible. All of these, the awakening sticks. The awakening sticks are really more for cleansing yourself, ready to do psychic work. But let me see if I can. So here they are. These are the sticks that I use. So after 2 decades of working with sticks, these are the ones which I produce and sell now. They're absolutely fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic. So in the box, I'm just going to pull one out. So here's one stick. So let me just show you. So that's the Palo Santo stick, and these are my sticks from Peru, and these are 100% Palo Santo. Just get a lighter. A bit unprepared. Get a lighter that works, Mr. Bajerski. Cool. So this is the 3-minute cleanse. Okay, so I'm just going to show you, put that one with that one there. So I'm lighting them both, right? Okay. See? Nothing. Look at that. Look at the smoke from that. So, around the body, as you see shamans working before and after, this is what they do. Or they'll have somebody who works alongside them and go around the body just like this. The smoke cleanses and clears all negativity, all the dirty energy, all the stress, all the shock. Anything that is heavy will just wash away with the smoke. That's why the smoke's so important. You'd go around the whole of your body like this, up and down, all down your feet. 3 minutes, and then that's it. Put it out. Okay, I'd like to leave this burning anyway. It'd be nice to leave that burning. Okay, so that's a fantastic thing to do. How many times would you do that in a week? Well, for me, if I'm meeting somebody and I'm going for a more of a challenge, or if I've got a heavy workload, if I've got some heavy stuff that I need to deal with, if I'm going to a supermarket, which I know is going to be filled with people, which I don't do so much these days, but if I do, I'll cleanse myself before I go. And I'll also cleanse myself when I come back. If I'm meeting somebody that is a little bit off, or maybe angry or jealous or in grief, I'll just use that for 3 minutes and then go and see them, come back and clear myself off as well. So all of these things is before and after. So if you know you're going to have a challenging moment, whatever that is, cleanse yourself for 3 minutes, and then when you come back, cleanse yourself again. It's just like the shaman does, okay? Oils are vital, and I've been using oils since 38 years old. And these oils that you see behind you in the jars, there's 3 here, but actually there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 oils, and these oils are phenomenal, and each oil is specifically for a certain thing. So I have cleansing oil, which is to cleanse the body, and you would use it in certain parts of the body. Now, depending on what you're going through in life, if you're going through stress, where's that stress? Where's it coming from, and where does it go? So for me, if I'm stressed, okay, I'll be rubbing the oil all around here, back of my neck, but where's it going to? It has to go somewhere. So sometimes the stress goes down, and it might hit my heart because of what I'm feeling, or it might hit my stomach because what somebody said to me. So if I've been attacked and somebody said something, it can sit in my stomach. So I'll rub it around my stomach and around my back, because you're doing all of it. So you get the oil, rub it all around you, and breathe it in too. If you've gone through a painful situation, then I'll be looking at the golden heart oil. So I'd be rubbing that on my heart. And then the abundance oil. If I'm trying to create abundance in my life, where would I want that abundance to? Well, I'm always thinking about beautiful things. I want to create things. So I'd be rubbing it around my head and possibly my heart, and so on. And then you've got your healing oil. Where's your healing issue? Sorry, guys. I tell you, don't do talks if you're doing a parasite cleanse. So yeah, going back to that. Healing oil is twofold. It can be for disease. It could be like an issue that you've got in your body. You could have cancer, or cysts, or anything really. And you rub it around that area. If it's a spiritual nature and you're feeling really bad, depressed and spiritually weak, where would you rub it? Where you feel the pain is. Normally we can feel the suffering, you know. If somebody's passed away, we can feel the suffering in our heart, because grief normally hits the heart. If somebody said something awful, you can feel it in your stomach. If somebody, you know, if you're going through issues and problems and trying to work things out, you're going to rub it around your head and so on. If you're at work and it's been a heavy day at work, rub it on your shoulders, because a lot of the weight is on your shoulders. If work is too stressful, really stressful, then you rub it on your back, and lower back, and then up a little bit, depending on where the pain is sitting, because that is the heaviness of life. If your eyes are stressed because what you see from day to day is too much, you're going to rub it sort of here, not by your eyes, but just here, temples and head. If you're struggling listening to conversations, then you'll be rubbing it behind your ears, because you want to strengthen your ears so you don't hear things and you don't feel things in the same way. So oils have this penetration that goes into the body and heals the body in so many ways, physically and emotionally, clears blocks, clears issues, clear trauma, all the time. So oils are phenomenal, and all the oils that I use are 100% organic. And the oils are all natural, either Palo, Santo, my God, sage. I use sage. I use so many. I mean, I could show you all my oils, and they come from France, and they're the best of the best. So I only use organic. So the oils are amazing. You know, sometimes it's nice to have a nice message, and these days nobody really kind of tells us things, right? Nobody really says nice things to us, very rarely. So I always find that whenever I'm feeling a little bit down and sometimes a little bit lost or a little bit unclear about life, I'll get my cards, which I created a long time ago. So cards are brilliant. So I created these cards. So what I'd do is, I'll just give you an example. I just take one card out, and this card is going to give me information about myself and my life, and maybe look at my life. Okay, so I'll read it to you. When we truly learn forgiveness, the world will heal. Never accept or excuse the wrongdoings or violent actions of anyone, but in saying, I forgive you, but not your actions, you begin to release your pain and continue to flow to your beautiful life. Never give up on your own power of forgiveness. I understand this because I have a trouble with myself, and this instantly talks about me, nobody else, and what I do and what I don't do, and I hold on to things that I don't do, and I don't forgive myself for not doing what I felt I should have done. And that's not very often, but sometimes I'll do something that I wish I hadn't have done that. Like, and I hold on to it instead of just letting it go. Forgive yourself. It's okay. It's just the journey. So that's my card today, forgiveness. Do you want your card today? So I'll choose a card for you now, okay? So this might be something that you might need. If you are looking for true love, you must begin by first discovering your inner love. Work on letting go of the past issues and focus on loving yourself. Once we find our inner love, we create a powerful energy that touches those around us and gives us a renewed and amazing love for life. Your inner love begins when you believe in your own self-worth and value. So that's your card today. So there might be something in that, and it might make you think a little bit. So once I get my card of forgiveness and you get your card for self-love and start to love yourself, you're going to start, what does this mean? So for me, I'm already talking about my forgiveness and what I need to forgive and why I'm so hard on myself. And why am I so hard on myself? Well, it's easy because I don't want to hurt people. And again, that's like saying yes to everybody. And it doesn't matter if I hurt people sometimes. It doesn't matter if you hurt people sometimes. It's not the end of the world. We all do it sometimes. And we don't do it because we want to, or we mean to, or we're malicious, or we deliberately want to. We just do things, and sometimes I wish I hadn't have done that. I didn't mean that. So we have to learn to let that go. So you have to learn to love yourself. And if you want to be loved, you can't be in a relationship if you don't love yourself. You have to learn to love yourself. So ask yourself, are you worth loving? Most of the time I only hear no. Well, then you're not going to be loved, are you? Because it's like somebody coming up to you saying, oh, I'd like to love you, and you going, oh, I'm not worth loving, so I'll see you later. But if you start to love yourself and realize that I am worth loving, and you are. Why? Because I can see and feel straight away that if you fall in love with somebody, you're the most kind, caring, loving, devoted soul in the world. Well, I think that's worth loving, and I would love to be loved by somebody who's kind, caring, who stands by their partner. You love them and you care for them. That's beautiful. Their trademark's worth loving. It's not about, Gucci bags, how fancy you are, your makeup, your new nose, or your eyes, or your sexy body. That means nothing. That comes and goes. But the true you is what you stand for and what you believe and what's inside your heart. And I think most people don't see that. They think it's the opposite. They think it's the fame and the good looks and the perfect backside and the big boobs that cost 5,000 and so on. No. Actually, if it's a perspective of man to woman, if you're a woman and you're wondering what a man thinks, I'll tell you this now, whether a man knows it or not, a man always prefers somebody who's natural. Always. They might look at a woman who's dollied up, but no, that's just looking, not interested. They want to be with somebody who's absolutely natural in every way. And I say that to my daughter, there's nothing more beautiful than natural, nothing. And if you see a woman who's natural without makeup on, who's just themselves, and you fall in love with them, then that's who you're falling in love with. If you fall in love with a Barbie doll, then when she takes her makeup on and her hair's all a mess one day and she's feeling sick, and like, do you want to be with a man who only loves somebody who's because they've gone to the gym every day and they look sexy? Oh no, that's not how it works. So these things are really vital in my world, really vital. That is my cards that help me, and they do help me, and they've always helped me along my journey. So these are what you call tools. Now we come on to something really important, and that's something that can change your energy in a way that constantly feeds you in a manner of this wave that comes into you constantly. And what is that? I'll tell you what it is. It's crystals. Crystals have a unique ability to vibrate at a frequency that heals you constantly. And it does not matter which crystal you take. Every crystal vibrates at a healing frequency. So it will heal you one way or another. So that's fantastic to know that no crystal will ever not work on you, because they do, every single one of them. But what's even more fascinating is when you are able, always to do with you, it's always you, when you're able to attune to a crystal, the crystal always chooses you, which means that one day you can be going into a crystal store, which I always suggest, and walk around and just see what you feel. And I guarantee you one crystal will call to you. It's just like going to a really beautiful museum, and you look at all the pictures on the wall and one just like, wow, that's beautiful. Well, when you look at that picture, it's the colour, it's the subject matter that is talking to you. It's like a book. If you read a book and you read something out of the book after 2 hours of reading it and it just blows you away, there's a meaning in that because of your life, because of what you're going through and what you're about to go through. It's beautiful. And a crystal's the same. A crystal knows and vibrates at the frequency of healing, so it will call to you. A crystal always chooses you, and it chooses you because its vibration, its healing wave, wants to come and heal you. And once that crystal's done and it's healed you, then you'll go, that crystal's beautiful. And people say, I'm addicted. No, you're not addicted. What you're doing is every time you buy a crystal, you're healing yourself and your trauma and your past that you didn't even know you were. Fascinating. Fascinating. So crystals are amazing. So I always advise you to go to your crystal store. Drink plenty of natural water is very important, because in every glass of water, if you do that and that drop that's just about to come off my finger there holds a crystal in it. So under the microscope, the science has realized that there's crystals in water. Well, if there's crystals in water and you know crystals vibrate at a frequency of healing, then every time you drink a glass of natural spring water, you're going to heal your body with thousands upon thousands of crystals with excellent memory. And if you want to charge that with even better memory, then if somebody's around you feeling really good and happy, and if you're feeling good and happy, take the glass and send good energy into it. Just see yourself well and happy and joyful. Just sit there and just put some music on and just smile and see yourself strong, happy. If you want to be with somebody, see yourself walking hand in hand with somebody beautiful and smile and feel that. Make that happen, because Spirit's listening. They listen to you. Even every thought, Spirit's listening to you. Isn't that beautiful? And they're going to try and help you. It might not be a day, a week, a month, a year, 2 years, 10 years, but eventually you look back and go, my God, I remember I was asking for that. I was asking for that. I remembered I wanted a mobile home. I've got it on I swear, I still kept it on my phone. Years ago, right, I thought, oh, one day I'd like a mobile home. And I drove in Germany and there was this mobile home and it was silver. It was beautiful. And I went, and I could never afford one of them. Oh my God, isn't that beautiful? I'm driving past. I took a photo of it. I have the same mobile home than that I dreamed of. Not exactly the same model, but it was silver and just looked like it. I've got it because Spirit helps you create it. The problem is we want something now. You want it now. Well, it doesn't work like that. It's never worked like that. You got to work at it. So you've got to put the effort in, like exercising, going to the gym every day. Eventually you're going to look back and say in 2 years, wow, look at that body, and you can appreciate it and you feel it. Well, it's the same with asking for things in the sense of, well, you've got to understand it's not just asking. Again, I'll say it one more time. Listen, it's a partnership. So the spirit will listen and then they work towards helping you, but you've got to work towards helping yourself. So you have to create and they'll help that creation with you. So that's a beautiful thing, eh? Look, it's nearly an hour. I wanted to give you this chat to explain to you that energy just doesn't happen. Protection just doesn't happen. It's a combination of thousands of things. So if you take one thing from this and apply it to your life, then you've probably done better than anybody else who's watched this video. Seriously, just one thing. If you got one thing out of it, then I've done my job. And if you take more than one thing out of it and apply it into your life, then you'll blow me away, because most people won't. They'll just move on to the next video and then feel better and then move on to the next video and then look back on their life and say all I ever did was look at the black screen, never actually did anything. And that doesn't work. So yeah, spirit does help, but you've got to get up off your ass and do something about it, and do it with love and joy, and create like you would do at a gym, exercising. Do the same thing with your creativity and your life and your passion, and things change, and that downward spiral changes, and then you realize, yeah, I was a victim of my own doing, my own thoughts. And it's not your own thoughts, it's your brain, and it's because you've been programmed for a child to believe that if you don't do this and you don't get that, then you're a failure. That's not your fault. That's the satanic system called school. That's the satanic system that creates you to fail and wants you to fail. Honestly, wants you to fail, because if you succeed, then you break free from that satanic system, and they don't like that. They don't like people who are free. They like to control people and make them do things, and they want you to want them. I don't want them. I don't need them. And neither do you. So change your life today. And I hope this video serves you well. Everything that I spoke about is obviously on my website, markbajerski.com. Maybe, just maybe, you might see some there that you like. And one day you might purchase a crystal, incense, oils, or you go to your local crystal store and purchase a nice crystal there, or some oils and incense. It doesn't matter where. Have a great day, and thank you so much for supporting and trusting in my work and my spiritual tools. Have a beautiful day. Take care. I mean that. Have a beautiful day. I really hope it's helped. Bye.